This is a live briefing for the severe weather potential for the day during the day on Friday. It's somewhat of a conditional threat due to a capping inversion we have in place, but nonetheless, if we can get a couple of severe thunderstorms to fire off during the late evening hours Friday, all severe weather hazards will be possible, including the threat for tornadoes. Biggest threats including are to be expecting at least very, very large hail, 2+ inches in diameter, given the environment supportive for that, as well as damaging straight line winds, with the threat for some microburst potential as well. So what we're looking at currently is the HRRR forecast model, and there's a couple of different scenarios. So we have the dry line that's set up about right through here during the day on Friday. And if we can get our convective temp to be close to about 90 degrees with our surface temp close to 90, and I do think we'll get close to that, we could actually have the potential to break that cap. So if we can get our convective temp and surface temp to be close to 90, and I do think right along that dry line, our temperatures should start to surge pretty good. So that should help with breaking that cap. At the same time, we have a surface low pressure up here across parts of extreme northern Kansas, with a cold front that's draped across right through here. And what's going to happen is there's 1 to 2 different things. Some of the better parameters are down here across the Denton and Sherman, Texas areas, and across south central Oklahoma and northeastern Texas. As we go through the day on Friday, the severe weather potential exists pretty good area right through here between Sherman, Texas and Denton, Texas, the Dallas-Fort Worth area, up to the Oklahoma City area as well. I do think that the potential is definitely there for some severe weather potential from about 3 p to about 9 p.m. this Friday. And then we have the surface low up here across northern Kansas, with a trailing cold front about right through here. And what's going to happen is we should start to see some thunderstorm development across southern Kansas start to go off. And with that being said, they have about 3 to 4 hours of storm development in this area off the southeast quadrant of that low pressure system, with some better forcing before that cold front starts to plummet down to the south and cut the flow aloft off to those thunderstorms that do develop in that area. So there's actually, we're going to be targeting the dry line potential from Oklahoma City southbound to Denton and Sherman, Texas. So we're going to be targeting that general area on Friday. One of the things we're going to go ahead and look at is the dew point profiles. The dew point profiles, this is a very significant, some very unique features to this dry line setup, where we have a nice good punch right here. We have really strong westerlies right here punching in with that prolific dry line, with our triple point up here where we have our triple point, and still some pretty good sharp gradient dry line profiles where we have 15 dew points on one side by about 45 miles, and we have low 50s on the other. Where down here our difference is not too much difference, but we do have better moisture availability with northerly advection trailing northward out ahead of that prolific dry line setup that we're looking at, with some very strong forcing off the westerlies there. So one of the things we're going to go ahead and look at now, this is the surface-based CAPE. This is 1,000 kilojoules. And so this measures the instability in the atmosphere and at the surface. And with that being said, there is a much wider axis of greater CAPE values up here. The problem with that is that this is our cold front right through here. And then we're only going to have about 2 to 4 hours of activity to actually mature and develop right in this general area across parts of southern Kansas. And with that being said, some of the better parameters are actually displaced a bit to the east. because we have more of a northerly flow, northerly advection right through here with some strong westerlies punching through and pushing the better parameters off towards the east of that, better forcing out ahead of that cold front that's coming down across parts of Kansas there. So that's why I've kind of backed off on the southern Kansas play and kind of came down to my original target location for Friday, from south of Oklahoma City down to Sherman and Denton, Texas. And we're going to set up somewhere along right in this general area right through here. And I'll actually draw a circle real quick so everyone can kind of see. So this is what we're looking at right here. That's where some of the best parameters, some of the best atmospheric and surface parameters are going to be in place for severe weather development during the day on Friday, this Friday, from about 3 p.m. to about 9 p.m. on Friday. And that's where we're going to be targeting, is just this general area right through here. And oops, back up a little bit. Basically right there is where we're going to be targeting for Friday. And the severe weather potential is definitely there for Friday if we can get that cap to break. And then now this is what we're looking at as a supercell composite index. Basically, this is parameters, atmospheric surface and surface parameters in place, conducive enough to support supercellular development. And it's decent enough. I mean, I've seen much better parameters, better parameter space and previous setups, but nonetheless, this is just enough to get things going. And then we also have tornado threat is not 0, but it is not high either. So with that being said, maybe a tornado or two from Oklahoma City south to the Denton, Sherman, Texas areas stand to see the best chance of seeing any type of tornado development, generally right along, back up. Generally right along this corridor right through here is what we're looking at, right inside this circle area right here from Oklahoma City south down to the Denton, Sherman, Texas area, Dallas, Fort Worth area. That has the best tornado parameters generally in that area right through there. So with that being said, from about 4 p.m. to about 9 p.m. Friday, this Friday, if you're in this general vicinity, I would say right through here, have a way to receive some warning product. If you do have a warning issue for you as well. We're not looking at a widespread severe weather outbreak. We're looking at more of a conditional, isolated 1 to 4 potential storms, 1 to 4 storms in this general area. But any storms we get that do develop in this environment will quickly go severe warned. And we're looking at the main threats being very large hail and damaging straight line winds with the potential for microburst. So the microburst potential is there with this. We have that dry air punching from behind with that cooling condensated air down to the surface rising quickly. So with that being said, go ahead and switch back over here and go over to the NAM forecast model. Now the NAM forecast model is painting a pretty similar picture. Now it has more, the last few runs actually had some convective thunderstorm development right ahead of that cold front, the surging cold front across southern Kansas. And now I'm not seeing a lot of that activity. Now I do think this area will see a couple of severe thunderstorm warnings from about 4 p to 7 p Friday, generally along this line right through here. And this square box right through here has the best parameters to see some severe weather across southern Kansas on Friday. And you're looking at the potential for mostly damaging straight line winds with some potential for some hail as well, and also a isolated tornado threat in that box right through there in Kansas on Friday. And the forecast is pretty much honed in right now, but a few things will change obviously between now and then. And then our system shifts during the day. On Saturday, our system actually shifts over to parts of southern Illinois, southeast Missouri, northeastern Arkansas, Missouri Boot Heel, northwestern Tennessee, and western Kentucky, generally along right through here. We'll have a slight risk issued for Saturday in this general area during Saturday for damaging straight line winds, large hail, and tornadoes for the day on Saturday. So we'll do another live briefing on that as we get closer to that event and models hone in better on that. So I appreciate everyone. Thank you for joining this live discussion regarding the chase. We will be live on TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube Friday across parts of northeastern Texas and extreme southern Oklahoma as we await supercellular development during the day on Friday. Thank you all for joining. I really appreciate it.